Hello, hello, Miriam.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Thanks. Hello, Hajer. Thanks for being here. I'm very happy to have you here. That's a great pleasure to talk with you both. And please introduce yourself.
Hello, it's Hajar.
That's good.
Sister, I'm 26 years old.
Mhm. Nice to meet you.
Thanks. I'm a teacher of computer science in middle school.
Wow, wonderful.
Thanks. And I'd like to be with you here to learn more about English.
You're on the right place. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks.
Mhm.
Thank you.
What? Maybe you wanna add something?
Well, like what?
No. Where do you live? What country? And
I live in Algeria,
Algeria.
in Oran City. Yes, Oran City.
hmm That's great. How big is your city?
It's the first normal in Algeria,
hmm hmm
the biggest city in Algeria, I think.
Oh, the biggest.
As I think.
Is it the capital of Algeria? I
No,
know.
Algiers is the capital.
Algiers. Yeah. It's the same name of as your country.
Algeria.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah. I heard it a lot. hmm Thank you very much.
You're
Miriam,
welcome.
Miriam,
Miriam will said.
introduce yourself,
Yeah.
please.
All right. I'm Mariam. I'm 28 years old. I am a teacher of English. Okay. I have a quite good experience in teaching English, whether teaching kids or adults or teenagers. I also I'm a teacher of Soroban. I don't know if you know it. It's mental calculating. It's the Japanese method.
What method?
It's called Soroban.
School
Mental
Soraban. hmm
mental calculating.
Wow, mental calculation.
Yeah.
It means you don't use any devices,
Calculate
just calculating in mind,
your brain.
your
Yeah,
mind.
that's it.
Wonderful.
Yeah. So I teach kids. I'm still starting. So it's like I'm a novice teacher in this domain. What else? I've never been out of Algeria except once. I visited Saudi Arabia.
Mhm.
As Muslims, we do that. It's related to our religion. Okay?
Yeah.
And,
I heard it.
Yeah, and I think that's all. I come from the same country, Algeria, and we live in Oran, which is like the second biggest city in the country. It has got so beautiful places. Because we have been like invaded by many countries such as Spain and France. So we've got some heritage, like we've got Santa Cruz, which is famous. It's like it is how do we call this? A church. It's like a church, and it is in a mountain, and it has a view on the sea. So since the Spanish invaders, it is there. So it is a monument, like.
Oh, that's
Yeah, and
interesting. I'm
we've
very
got lots of.
interested to know more about Algeria. And
Yeah, we have got lots of beautiful places in Algeria.
Yeah, I have seen it through pictures that Moat, my friend, Algerian friend, sent me, and I was impressed. A lot of views and nature and city structures, buildings, infrastructure. they are very beautiful, wonderful.
Yeah.
I would like to visit Algeria.
Nice.
I have a dream.
Yeah,
That's
it's
wonderful.
good. Why not?
Mhm.
Sometimes it's like we have like dreams. I want to visit that country and I want to learn that language. But why not? At least we have goals. Maybe one day they'll become true.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
What about Miriam?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, I lost my question that I
It's
wanted to
okay. Take
ask
your
you.
time.
Okay, let's talk about picture and idea about picture that you shared. Can I show the picture?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
Okay, here is it. Here is your post, and with wonderful greetings to web talkers and wishes about having nice time. And you asked, what do we think about these habits? Really,
Yeah.
it's interesting. Let's start from you. What do you think? Always on social media, how do you understand this aspect?
Well, it is, of course, it is not good to spend your time on social media. In fact, whenever I want to spend my time on something, be it social media, YouTube, web talk, anything else, I'm not learning from it. It's like sometimes if I'm spending too much time on it, so I'm just wasting my time. If I take, for example, 5 hours on Facebook, and when I finish 5 hours, I ask myself this question: what did I learn from that? And sometimes the answer is nothing. So I consider it as a waste of time. For example, I'm spending 2 hours on now. Why? Here I gave the example of Facebook because I wanted to mention WebTalk. At the beginning, I was not. It wasn't like I was not interested in WebTalk. I had no idea about it. Usama Bahri, teacher Usama, invited me. So I said, okay, I'll check it. But I didn't give it any interest at that moment. It took me, I think, 2 days. Then when I subscribed, I didn't even complete my profile. It was like 45%. That's all. Then I was like absent. I didn't even check or search about it or try to look for videos on YouTube to understand more about web talk. Then after 2 days or 3 days, I said, why not? Let's give it a try. Let's give it time. Then I went to YouTube. I found I cannot remember her name, but I'm following her on WebTalk. She is a woman with the hijab, and she is posting videos on YouTube. I forgot her name. I cannot remember names. I've got a problem. Then she was like explaining about WebTalk. I was listening to her. That I got the idea behind WebTalk. Then I came back. I finished my profile alone. I did whatever I was asked to. Then I went to Usama asking him and bothering him with the questions. Of course, he didn't say no. He is so helpful. He helped me with my questions. He helped me with my profile, with my enrollment referrals, etc. Then I started getting the idea behind WebTalk. If I compare it now to Facebook or to any other social media, it's much more better. Why? Because I'm learning. At least I'm learning. I'm not learning one thing. You have the opportunity to learn languages. You have the opportunity to meet people who are willing to spend time with you, but not just to talk about things which has no value. They are talking or discussing things that are valuable. They are teaching you and you are learning from them. Maybe you are giving them something to learn, etc. So at least we are investing our time in something so interesting. comparing to other social medias. What are we doing there? Just posting some posts. Sometimes our posts are good on Facebook and on Twitter, on other social media, but and the interaction there is good too. But it is not. It misses something. Okay, why? Because the goal of the WebTalk founders is not the same as Facebook. Maybe the founder of Facebook wanted to promote his product just to gain money. But the people who are standing behind WebTalk, they've got an aim, and which is a valuable aim. It gives something to people. People are using my site, but they are gaining a lot. Okay, so the idea behind spending too much time, or here they say always on social media. So it's not 1 hour or 2 hours. It's like half a day or almost a day on
Exactly.
social media. So
Exactly.
if you're spending a day on social media, what did you get from that? Nothing. Just wasting your time. Instead, you could have joined classes, online classes, and learned something, or go to YouTube and learn something from watching videos, etc.
Yeah,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Mhm. Thank you very much for your opinion. Sometimes I have the same, not sometimes, every day I have the same feelings and thoughts about using social media, because sometimes it stick me to
Yes.
to some to some post and pages, and what I doing there, I ask myself. And so um, after 3 4 hours, I said, I say to myself, you was going to learn, you was going to read articles, but you didn't. So it makes me so sorry about wasting of time. Thank you very much, Madam Hajer. And can you tell us, mm, maybe you wanted to add something, your personal thoughts?
Well, I'm not good in English, so I think you had to to do some efforts to understand my ideas. Okay.
That's good. That's good. And don't be worried. We are just learning to express ourselves, and me, of course. And I learn
Yes.
from you. And it doesn't matter how would be your correct your expressions. The main reason we are here just to listen to each other, and I'm I'm full with attention.
Okay.
Go on.
Thanks. So about always on social media
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in present in our time, it's make you it's make a distance between family members, like always children in getting their phones and chatting when moms or our moms or dads come to speak to talk to us, so you don't give them attention. So they're gone, and they don't know if we are good, if we eat, you know. So it's make a distance. That's why what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
And especially the children, يعني minus 13, 14,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's it.
Interesting. Thank you very much, Hajer.
Excuse me, Ardi. I
You're
just
welcome.
posted the link on the group of Mind Your Language. So maybe some other people will join us.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. That's interesting.
Good.
Welcome. Welcome to Yusuf. Is it correct? Joined us. Yusuf, maybe you unmute your microphone and uh, say us about yourself.
Yeah, I was like just wanted to listen without speaking. Probably it might not be that necessary to participate at the moment. So that was the reason.
Okay, thank you very much. Ага, ага. Окей. Что говоришь? А, sorry. That's my wife uh, took my attention. So, my reflection to saying of Hajar. Mhm. Yeah, I agree with you, and it makes me sad when, to the end of the day, I understand that my wife and me we're spending the day separate, separate different rooms, and we just meeting at the kitchen, and when we're taking our lunch and dinner. That's really. mm, I agree with you. It makes sometimes sad, and um, day has gone, and we had no a lot of um, we had no any conversation, and really sometimes we should to um, to pay more attention. Not maybe, it's definitely we should to pay attention to each other. Mm. What about Miriam? What would you say? Mm, what we should do? How to reduce our time using social media, and pay attention to our family, and maybe to our studying, improving?
Sorry, may I add something?
Mm, yeah, you can.
Uh,
You can first. Mhm.
Sorry, Miriam. Like when we have visitors at home coming to see us, so it's just like 5 or 10 minutes discussion, and after that, each one take his phone and start chatting, or it's like they're not here or they're not come to visit us. You understand me? When we have visitors, يعني, for members of like cousins, like you know. That's what I mean to say.
Ardi, you're mute.
Yeah,
Hmm?
actually, I wanted to add something, but probably
Sorry,
others.
Miriam. Uh-huh. Uh,
Hi.
Miriam, can you
Yes,
continue?
yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's okay. Well, Hajar was saying that whenever we have visitors at home, sometimes it takes us only 10 minutes to speak with them, saying hi, how are you, etc. Then after 10 minutes, each one of us takes his mobile phone or his tablet and goes and take a corner and starts chatting with others, as if they were not there or as if they are not there even. So her idea was that this is something like bad. Why? Because sometimes it takes you like 2 weeks to have a chance to see your family members, I mean cousins, etc. Then when they come to see you, it takes you only 10 minutes to speak with them or to chat with them. Then you go back to your social media. And Yusuf wanted to add something or to say something, so we may give him the chance to do so.
Well,
Okay.
actually, yes. I wanted to like continue with the things that you talked about, and yes, like I would say that today or nowadays we are rather having an online life to an offline life. which means that our life became like or transferred to be on internet rather than to be as the usual way, without internet, without cell phones or social medias, let's say. And that's a really obvious example that I talked about the guests when they come out. I mean, as guests, let's come. Probably I have heard things that quite felt me out of blue and shocked me. That sometimes when some guests come, the first thing would they ask you is that what's the password of the Wi-Fi? I've heard this many times by other people. Like they were saying that when their kids or their children came with them, the first thing that like probably instead of saying hi, hello, or how are you doing, or checking, I don't know. This thing is they were saying what's the password of the Wi-Fi, which means that they are too addicted to internet and social medias in a way that made them to be like to ask for something which is like no worthy at all. If it's compared to um, the importance of meeting between two people or some people whom haven't like met for a long time. So I would say could be this could be regarded as a catastrophic thing, and this is a disaster that like happens. But you know, probably we don't feel it. We don't see that, like the addiction or such a kind of behavior bias. Like we might have something toward the others, but of course ourselves we don't feel it. And this one is quite obvious one. Like if someone have addiction to social media, the person would not feel it because the addiction is indirect, which means it's not directly like grabs you and makes you to be addicted to it, but indirectly, like gradually, step by step, makes you to be very fond of it, to use it to carry on, probably wasting your time on it rather than doing your tasks or what you have supposed to do. And I would say that this is a really dangerous problem and issue that should be taken into consideration. And probably the solution could be doing exercises, like not taking your phone with yourself when you're going to meet someone. I mean, not for a long distance, just for like a near distance from yourself. Just don't take it off. I just think it is not important thing. Uh, probably this is one of the ways that you can separate yourself from the phone, and also reading books or short stories or novels, anything, anything, but not online, of course, offline, like newspaper, magazine, or anything that could take your attention or like catch your attention rather than something on your phone. So if you have something on your phone which would be beneficial on the format of PDF, and you have a book too, but probably not the same, but I mean like book is offline and or in hard copy shape or form and the PDF form. Try always to make your thinking to be fond and fancy of the offline one and the hard copy rather than the offline. I mean the online one, because the if you do that, continue with that or carry on with that, you will indirectly probably be addicted to it and would think that this phone, if it's separated from yourself or from you, you would feel a huge loneliness and disappointing. Like if someone who's addicted to his or her phone, if you separate the phone from her or him, the person would feel extreme nervous, extreme hesitation, and like worry quite much, and other feelings, of course, in an extreme degree or to an extreme degree. So the overall point here is that this is really and really dangerous and a real problem that we are all or almost all facing nowadays, as far as it's a basic or as a part of our life, technology, and more specifically our phones or smartphones, which replaced by almost anything. You don't need alarm while you have alarm. I mean, but you don't use it. But instead, you use your phone for alarm, for notes, for phone. I mean, for phone calls, for anything. So it's inevitable thing that you cannot like say that this phone is not something important in life. It is, but we shall be careful how much we are using it, and we shall see the big picture and compare ourselves with others. Like you have to see others too. Others could tell you how much yourself are using your phone. I myself have experienced that, and I found out that I myself much better than some people who might be using their phone and they have no attention about around themselves. Like if you go closer to them, say hi or hello, they would not respond, as if um, you are talking to a rabbit or I don't know, something which is not living. So we have to be careful with it and replace that with other beneficial activities like reading, exercises, hanging out with friends, rather than hanging out with friends online. And thank you for your time.
Oh, uh, thanks. Thank you, Steve, a lot for your detailed answer, for your reflection. It's really impressive. Yeah, uh, it is difficult to delay your ideas. Uh, that's true. That's true. Bin, hello, friends. He is just 3 minutes left. Bin, if someone my phone and Trang Bin, who would you like? Who would like to unmute and say us about using social media all the time? Friends? Hello, Diane. Okay, let's make conclusion about our meeting. Really, I'm very glad to have you all. So sorry, the time is really short to give everybody to express, to say your ideas, to share with your ideas. But I think any meetings is very important for us. Just every day I accumulate confidence, I accumulate powerful, I accumulate knowledge about English and relationship, and I think it is relationships really. It doesn't matter how we connecting through social media or in direct life. What do you think, Miriam?
Yeah, well, before I give my opinion, I would like to thank you so much. Well, for the latecomers, our subject was about spending too much or spending not too much, but always on social media. We were discussing the negatives of this point. Then some of you gave their opinions, the others couldn't because we are running out of time, as Mr. Erdi said. So as you said, Erdi, well, it is difficult to split people from their devices, but at least we need to try. Okay, we need to try to reduce the time For example, I'm not expecting someone who is spending 5 hours on his device on social media the next day to spend only 2 hours. No, this is wrong. At least I ask him to reduce like about half an hour. I start with half an hour and we go on slowly. Okay, this way we can, but it is still a difficult process. Okay, but believe me, if you fill your time with other things, interesting things, you will skip social media without feeling it. I had this experience. I used to spend too much on Facebook, etc. But nowadays I'm not. I'm not even finding time to spend on web talk. All right, because I have other goals. I have other things to do. I'm learning some languages, etc. I'm working, learning, going out, etc. Okay, so we can organize our time. We can fill our time. We can do too much in one day. All right. And thank you so much for the meeting again, Ardi. It was interesting.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for your kind words. Really, I agree with you. It would be better to organize ourselves and to make schedule, for example, maybe to write, to make notes on the page and on the page and hang it on the wall. That might be always in front of our eyes and as a reminder of our how we uh, did and etc. Uh, uh, 3 minutes left. Maybe someone wanted to join to say something. Mm, Hangam, Hangam, Hosan, Susan, Trambin, who is ready? Mhm. Okay, Miriam, I think we have
Yes.
we have opportunities um, to wish our friends new web talkers, or maybe who is going to become a web talker. What would be your advice to them?
Well, I advise them, as I told you at the beginning, I was not really interested in web talk because I didn't know about it.
Mhm.
But at least give it a chance. Try to know about it. Try to look for information about it. You can find videos on YouTube. You can ask people. If you are not convinced by what people are telling you, go to YouTube and watch some videos. Subscribe on web talk and try to read posts, etc. Then when you give it a chance, then you can decide if you are interested in, if you are in or not, or at least give it a chance.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thanks for your
You're
opinion. And
welcome.
uh, I have to say that uh, actually I joined to web talk maybe in a year ago, little less, but I didn't use it until January month, until last month. And so one of another friend said me, join us, you can share with your video there. And I was interested, how, oh, why not? And when I again came in again to WebTalk, mm, the interest has grown, and uh, I I was impressed when I uh, came across to the chat where were 4 native uh, speakers. While I was chasing for people around the Facebook and asking, can you talk to me, please? Give me a time, a little bit. So, but now there are no any problem to improve our English during a day. And thank you very much. And thank you, Miriam, for this chat.
You are
I
welcome.
I would say that you are